Hi, I'm Amy Edwards, and welcome to the Edwards Table. This podcast is all about real conversations, the kind that come from life, love, family, friendship, and all the messy, beautiful parts in between. I started this show because I believe in redemption stories and in sitting down together to talk about the things that shape us, heal us, and sometimes just make us laugh. So grab a seat, take a breath, and join me, because there's always room for you here at the Edwards Table. Well, hey everyone, I'm Amy Edwards, and I'm your host here at the Edwards Table. Sorry, we got the giggles before we came on camera today. But welcome back my husband, John, who's joining me again this week. Happy to have him here. And if you listened in over the course of the last couple of episodes, the last time he joined, we were talking kind of about our foster care adventures as being a foster family it was like 7 years that we did that. And over the throughout a good part of our marriage, we really were hoping to be able to move our family somewhere else outside of Memphis. And for whatever reason along the way, we never could. Like, it just didn't work out until the last, I don't know, maybe year, 6 months that we were in Memphis. We started having the conversation again, and then started realizing my job was coming to an end, and John, you're sitting here, but you changed career paths, and in what you were doing, we needed Wi-Fi in an airport. Mm-hmm. And so we started researching and picked 10 cities around the country that we thought would be kind of cool to live in, and then started researching good schools and safety and like the temperature and all that kind of stuff, and narrowed it down. And we got it down to Atlanta and Austin. Yeah. And we knew that Atlanta, we had family there, and we were close to all of our family by living out there. But then when we looked at Austin, we brought the kids out over spring break. And
well, I think you and I had come here. I'd had a work trip here. Mm-hmm. And so we had an extended stay out of that work trip to visit the area, visit some places around. And at that time, it was really what I felt was eclectic Austin.
Yeah, well, I mean, this was well before we decided we were moving.
Yes, yeah.
But
so that was like
knowing that we loved the city, that was definitely
12,
on our
13
list.
years ago. And then 11 years ago, like a couple of years later.
Yeah,
we're like, hey, let's do it. But you're right. Like, we brought the kids out, let's see what they think.
And they loved it.
Yeah, they did immediately.
Which we were both kind of surprised.
Yeah.
Given their ages and kind of where they stages of life.
Yep.
Didn't
and
really
to restart,
expect
especially for our son, who was in high school, a freshman in high school, he was, ready to shake off Memphis and go start somewhere new.
Yeah. So we made the decision for sure, said yes. When they were on spring break, like we came home, we're like, oh yeah, for sure. So that was March. And then our littlest fella went back home I think it was the very end of April, very beginning of May. And then we moved out here the 1st of June. Yeah. So it was rather a whirlwind experience of getting out here. And like, I had talked to a real estate agent trying to figure out the home situation, and like, listeners who've listened along with us have heard the whole saga with me telling Matt about getting out here and her memories of it too. But we left on I think it was June 1st or maybe 2nd, but it was the very beginning of June. And on our way out, I mean, we could barely get out of town, and then there was an accident, and then we had to spend the night in the middle of the night. And
yeah, I think we crossed the bridge into Arkansas, and we were maybe 45 minutes away from Memphis, and then it was just dead stop traffic.
Yeah.
And there was an accident somewhere that was miles away from us, but it was backing the highway up, and I mean, just literally turned the vehicle off.
Yeah.
sit there.
I think we did that for a couple of hours. Like we couldn't
Yes.
move at all. And there was no like
Side road or anything.
We were
No
out in the middle.
exit that was close, nothing.
we were out in the middle of like
So,
fields and fields.
and what do we
and
have? I
fields.
was driving that big U-Haul box truck
Mm-hmm.
with a car tow trailer on the back that had the truck on it,
Yep.
loaded up.
And you had, I think Quinn was riding with you at that time and
Mm-hmm.
the cat.
Yes.
And then I had Maddie and Molly, the dog.
And quickly we switched.
Yes, because neither of the animals liked traveling. So there was a ton of
Neither of
meowing
those two.
or whining.
Oh my gosh, it was miserable.
And so we wound up, the first stop that we made, we finally got to move. But I mean, it was late at night by the time we got,
Yeah, it was 11 o'clock or so, because we didn't leave town until what, 6 o'clock?
yeah, it was later.
And I was like, because we even contemplated staying one more night, leaving in the morning. I was like, no, I want to get out of here.
Yeah. And so
I
we
don't
did.
care if we get a hotel somewhere, but I want to drive as far as we can drive and get a hotel.
And yeah, so a couple hours,
Yeah, about 2 hours of sitting on the highway, and yeah.
and we got a hotel. And then the first hotel,
I think we drove for a little bit. Once the traffic broke, we drove some, but it wasn't much.
not very, far enough
An
for us to
hour,
find a way to like
maybe.
get food and find a
Yeah,
hotel.
yeah.
And so I was telling Mad, since we had both of the animals, the first hotel we went to, you went in, you pay the pet fee and whatever, and you're like, we're not doing this anymore because
Yeah.
you might as well buy them their own room with how much you have to pay or whatever.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah, and then it wasn't real common for pets to travel quite yet.
yeah,
And it was a real expensive pet deposit for each one. I was like, this is crazy.
yes,
When you're staying at a courtyard or whatever we were staying at, maybe it wasn't even that, Town Place Suites or something.
I don't know. I don't even remember the hotel.
Oh my gosh,
I
I don't either.
remember-
But it was just, let's stay on the ground floor.
Yeah. And then the next day, we actually made some headway, but we had to,
No, I think we got to, the next day it was a long day, but I think we got to Austin the next day.
I couldn't remember if it was 2 days
Because
or 3, but
we got, I think what we did is we got that hotel up by where we ended up living for the first night, but couldn't stay there. The second night we went kind of closer to town, but it was still kind of Round Rock area. Mm-hmm. It was right there at 45 and 35.
I thought we had a second
And we
hotel
had the
stay.
Marriott stay there for 2 or 3 days until we could no longer stay there because of X Games.
Yeah, I
then
knew
we
that.
came back out to Round Rock to Spring Hill Suites or whatever it was for the rest of the time until we were able to move into the house.
Yeah, for some reason I thought we spent the night in Dallas because at that time, which the state of Texas always has a ton of construction, but at that time, don't even
35
ask me.
was completely under.
It was down to one
renovation.
lane. There were concrete barriers for miles that you had to jig-jag through. And I just remember that was the most nerve-wracking. And I wasn't even driving the truck. I was driving a car.
Yeah.
But, it was still right behind you watching and just praying.
Yeah, that was coming into Dallas and kind of going around Dallas to get to 35 east, south, whatever it is.
Whatever. They have the directions all jacked up. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, on that day, too, is when the real estate agent was like, oh, I didn't know you were really coming.
Yeah.
And I was like,
She
what
was
do you
like,
mean?
well, we can't do anything until you're actually here. And I'm like, well, you never told us that on the phone.
Yeah.
You said you had several properties we could sign right up for in 2 or 3 days be in on,
Yeah, well, she made it seem like we were good to go. And
Yeah.
so we came into town thinking we had a place to move into, and very quickly,
one of a couple that we just had to choose from, give the deposit and move on in.
correct. And so instead, we wound up hotel hopping because, like you said, the X Games were going on here.
Yeah.
And that was an 8-day excursion before
Yeah.
we actually got the house situation straightened
Yeah,
out.
we kept everything in the van or in the box truck for as long as we could, which that was a disaster too. So then we ended up finally getting a storage unit
Yep.
because we thought it was going to be even another week or so before we were going to be able to
Well,
find a place.
we didn't know
Yeah.
what it was going to be, but we knew that we were getting tagged hundreds of dollars a day hanging onto that truck.
Yeah, so we put it in the Uncle Bob's storage.
Uncle Babs. Yes. It was 113 that day. It was super fun.
Yeah.
Our children were smitten with getting to move.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then as soon as we got everything moved in, the next day is when we found the house that we were going to move into.
Yeah.
We got everything situated.
But it worked out pretty good because they had that box truck that they let us use at that.
Oh yeah, but
Bob's
I'm just
place.
saying we unloaded everything
Yeah.
on one day. The next day we got the house
Yep.
settled and situated on, signed the paperwork, got it all deposit over
Got
everything.
the keys,
Got the keys, and then the next day we were able to
start moving.
start moving in.
Yeah.
And I did share this when I was telling Matt about it, though. When you turned the keys in for the truck, the lady we had picked it up from Home Depot because we used U-Haul. And
Yeah,
when
no,
you,
we picked it up from a U-Haul place in Memphis, but we returned it at the Home Depot
Okay.
was the U-Haul center. Yep.
yeah, but my point
Here,
was when you went in, we had calculated kind of what we thought we were going to have to pay, which was
Yeah.
way more than what we anticipated. Obviously, we didn't anticipate having to pay for, eating out all the time, staying at hotels, which, I mean, you had points, but not for every single thing we did.
No. And the way I got paid then too is since I was a contractor, like we had a lot of money coming, but it wasn't coming for another 10 or 15 days,
Yeah.
20 days, whatever it was at the end of the month. So,
Yeah. So we really weren't like anticipating having to pay
yeah.
several extra $100 on that truck or whatever. But then you went in and when you were coming out, the kids and I were all in the car. And by that point, too, we had found a place where we could board the animals.
Yes.
Because that was a disaster, too. That's how we found our veterinarian. They were amazing. And you came out, and I could tell, like, from the look on your face that something had happened, and you seemed, I don't know if it was like you were deep in thought or kind of perplexed or whatever, but when you came back, you were like, you're not even going to believe this, but this lady did not charge me any
Yeah,
of that.
she didn't charge us anything for it.
Yeah. It was, and she didn't have to do that.
No, she didn't at all. But I just kind of explained our situation and how crazy it had kind of been. We'd gotten there, it was like, but, it is what it is, so just be as gentle as possible. And she was like, well, we'll just waive those fees.
Yeah. Well,
And she did, and she waived them all.
Yeah, you had said, too, that she had said nobody moving to Texas should have to, that shouldn't be your first
Yeah,
like,
experience
in
or
Texas
something
or
like
something.
that. So,
yeah. I thought that was cool.
But it was cool, and she was real nice about it and all. So it was good.
Yeah.
It was a good little outcome.
Yeah. And then,
And it worked out well. And our landlord there too for
Was
that
amazing.
house, he was really cool too, and it worked out, tremendously.
oh, yeah.
Because
for sure.
honestly, for him, we had come off of losing the business and everything that we had. So all of those houses and loans and everything had all gone against my credit score. So our credit was horrible at that point. And he had seen that, but he said it wasn't like, he had pulled the report, but it wasn't like repossessions of cars and all this other kind of stuff for years and years and years. So he was kind of curious, is like, what's going on? So
Yeah.
we explained to him, was like, dude, this home builder, this time has just absolutely crushed us, whatever else, and he was like, okay, that makes sense. He goes, because his dad, and he invested in it, but his dad mainly ran it. I think it was his dad, owns a buy here, pay here car business. So they run credit reports and they see all the junk and stuff that's on people's credit things. So I know he had done ours when we did our application. It was like, it was just kind of unusual as to why the credit score would be that low, but certain things weren't showing up,
Right.
So that are typical
Of why it would be.
of why it would be, So I was like, yeah, dude, because I was on the hook for $14-15 million worth of real estate.
Does it easy of a job to your credit. Yeah.
I think that's what, maybe 10 or 12, whatever it was. But it was a lot.
It was a lot
Yeah.
of the dollars.
So in any case, yeah, we got through all that. Matter of fact, I was like, if you want to, I'll give you a year's worth of rent right now, and he was like, no, it's okay. But that's what I used to do just to try to make him feel comfortable at first, is I would just send him 6 months worth of rent
Yeah.
in that place, then another 6. And then I think I did a year one time, but we stayed there a long time.
7 years.
Yeah, I know. So yeah. But it gave us a good place to rest, while we tried to figure out. It was a great neighborhood for the time, for what it was. And it gave us a great place to go to kind of centralize ourselves so that we could kind of learn about the area, learn where we wanted to live kind of long term here.
Still learning.
Yeah, and all of that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, as we transition kind of again
I know.
right now.
That little house that we lived in, we were there. That's the longest we've ever lived in the same house the whole time we've been married, which is 7 years.
Was it really?
Yeah.
That's pretty bad. So,
I'm a master packer and mover. I'm very good at getting us all organized and labeled, and
I'm very good at just throw the crap away.
well, you still have to pack stuff up.
I know.
But yeah, we did. I was appreciative of that house, and then we wound up like getting to know our neighbors, and
On the right
initially
side, we had some good.
a little bumpy.
Yeah, it was a little bumpy at first, but we ended up being pretty good neighbors with them. That was fun.
Yeah.
And
Folks across the street were super cool.
yeah, they were really good people too. So,
And then
yeah.
we had a sweet little young couple that was next door to us when we first moved in. They had just gotten married,
Oh yeah.
and they were here on a work visa, so
Yeah,
they were
from
only
Korea.
here for like a year, maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
And then
they were really sweet
they
too.
were so sweet.
And then we got a not so good neighbor that
Well,
moved in there.
They were nice enough, but they were definitely not taking care of their home.
No,
So
it
we
was.
got to fight snakes and vermin in the
Yes.
backyard because ill. But
They used to store all their engine oil around between our houses, and I think once
That came in the
sprung a
yard.
leak, and it was one thing after the other.
it was. But all this to say, it was it was a really good spot to live, and a good, like, here it's not considered a suburb, it's a town, because it's an actual city that we lived in. Round Rock is a
yeah.
city,
Yeah.
so it was really good, like getting to know the greater Austin area, getting to know
Yeah.
Austin itself. And I've loved it here. Like, I've loved living out in Texas.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been a really good, like, I love the vastness, being able to see for like miles and miles and miles and
Yeah.
miles. The people here, just like you said, when we first moved out here, especially, it was very eclectic.
It really was, and it's a lot. And the landscape has changed quite a bit through the COVID era, unfortunately, and whatever else. So,
Yeah, because then
and the people, we've had a huge influx of a lot of folks that have come from other places that,
all over.
yeah,
But I
that have
will,
kind of changed some of that dynamic.
yeah, but also because of where we live now, we don't tend to trek in to town nearly as much.
No, but part of it is probably due to that,
Yeah. Well,
'Cause
and
I think
two-
that kind of changed us a little bit too, about, because originally when we moved here, when we first started living
Mm-hmm.
here, our plan was we were gonna, because of the way it was pre-COVID, we were gonna get a condo downtown
Yeah, when Mad went off to
when
school.
Mad went off to school, and live downtown for a couple of years.
Yeah.
and just enjoy that type of lifestyle, living in the city, kind of walking everywhere and whatever else. But after COVID, it was like, no way.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was so sad too, because in that time when we were talking about that, even contemplated at one point about, whether or not we would ever want to live someplace like New York City, like having that city life. And knowing that, New York would be a lot shorter term. And if we were going to do that, maybe we would last there a year.
Yeah.
Because one of the two of us definitely not a lover of winter at all.
I cannot stand it.
And the other of us who adores snow and the mountains and all the beautiful things.
Although I will say, as I've gotten older over the last 2 to 3 years, 2 years, I'd say, I think I would not mind it so much now. Not the snow so much, but the colder, crisp air. A little bit of snow is fine.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to
But-
live in it like for months.
But I don't want to do the New York, Boston whole snow thing, Minnesota. No.
Well, Minnesota more so than there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
I can see why though. When people retire, they have like dual living situations where they go like a cooler place in the summer and a warmer place in the
Sure.
winter. I understand that. Not necessarily though would I want to be that person.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge beach fan when it comes to that's what I want to do with my whole life. I enjoy the beach, but I like it just a little bit. Versus, I would much rather be in the mountains.
I don't know now. I think that part of me is changing. It used to be forever that I wanted the beach, but part of that was because I always thought that I would live on these are random thoughts, but would live on a golf course. Remember the whole time coming up, I want to live on a golf course, private club. That's what I want to do. I could care less about playing that much golf
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
I really, now my dream is to have a shop, a big shop.
For whittling wood.
Whittling wood. I tell you what, I'm going to get up and walk right off of this show.
Okay. Well, that's fine. No, I think, but I think that, those kinds of desires come, they kind of ebb and flow with what's going on in life and kind
Yeah.
of where you are. And one thing I wanted to say before we like completely jump into other things, but about that period of time was during that 7 years of living where we were, it allowed us opportunity to rebuild our credit, to get
Oh,
some
absolutely.
money in order. We had kids who, like, oldest graduated high school,
Yeah.
went off to college, and then launched onto his own.
Yeah.
Youngest finished middle school and almost completed high school before we moved to our next house.
Yeah.
So, because Matt did 5th grade through
Yeah.
part of 12th. I mean, it was pretty awesome. She got to
Yeah.
do a long time there. And I mean, Quinn too. He spent most of his, high school, college age there too.
Yeah.
But it was really cool because once we left that house and we found where we wanted to go next, bought a lot, built a house there, knowing...
Well, we picked a lot. The lot house situation was all part of the thing, but we picked a lot out of the subdivision and a plan. And then we got to do a lot of upgrades and stuff to it too.
But knowing that we were doing that with intention of making some money off of it, given where the economy was going and
Yeah, and
how real
again,
estate was.
the height of COVID helped us out tremendously in that.
Yep. So it's funny in an ironic kind of a way that we went from getting here and having to prove our value on paper when we were trying to rent a house to then a few years later being able to go and move into a really nice house. But when we went for that, the signing, like when we went to sign the paperwork or whatever, and the whole time we thought it was you and I with our credit, getting us into the house, and come to find out, it wasn't that I had bad credit, it was I had no credit. And
Yeah, it was just in my name,
and it was just in your name.
which was also a fearful thing for me.
Okay, well, you didn't even know it was happening until the day we went to the
Exactly,
office.
that's my point, is then I was like, what? Because then it made me realize that for what you didn't have credit, so if I died, you wouldn't be able to assume the house or something. So
My name is still on the house.
it was still on the deed.
So it still would have been mine. I would have gotten it. Yeah. It wasn't my credit that got it for me. I would still have to find a way to make the payments.
Yes.
But the cool thing in that was a lot of what you carried with you in, like losing everything and how hard that was that it was just your credit that got us into that house. So to me, it felt like kind of a full circle moment. You didn't think about it. I pointed that out. You
Yeah.
said you hadn't really thought about that.
No.
But kind of how God redeems things, yeah?
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay. Wow. Wow. I think that's kind of
It does. It was very.
a big deal.
It was a very big deal to be able to get into that house and do that and move into it, and because honestly, yeah, I had always, like, after losing everything, such a long period of feeling like, okay, then it's just destined that we're not ever going to own a house again. We'll always have to rent, and there would just be certain things that we just wouldn't be able to do anymore. And we were on that path, but we'll never be able to reestablish that. I don't think God wants that for us, because of whatever the reasoning may be. And yeah, so that was kind of my thought.
I guess he showed you differently.
Very much so, dear.
Yeah.
Just like you do. You showed me differently too.
Well, sure, I have a different perspective than you do. I would hope so. We'd be pretty bored if not,
Yeah,
I would say.
quite possibly.
Well,
A lot of people may feel that anyway.
what? That we're boring?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've gotten some pretty good feedback so far about you and me, so. I don't think boring is usually the adjective people use when they describe us.
Maybe not.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. Well, babe, do you have any other thoughts before we close out for today?
No, I just thought that was, just all of it. And the job. And what we were able to do and whatever else was really cool. And I mean, during that whole time too, we bought that house and then we put Maddie through private school
For
in
college.
college. Now granted, our child is very brilliant. Okay.
Both of them
So,
are in unique
they are.
ways. Like,
Very much so. But when it came to college, Maddie was able to finish schooling in 2 years and 1 semester for her 4-year degree. So
yeah.
she kicked through it pretty good.
Oh, yeah, she did. But yeah, that house afforded us a lot of opportunity.
Yes.
Start our company, get her through college.
Yep.
And so-
Absolutely.
Yeah. I know. It's really, it's one of those things, it's like I've said this to you too, but I've said to her, it's like when you sit down and we like talk through different pieces of our story along the way or whatever, it's crazy to think how much, one, we've been through together.
Yeah, especially early on.
Well, I think there were some pretty big things that went on, and not necessarily have we even talked about some of them, but like then to know in January we're going to celebrate, are we 20, yeah, 29.
29 years.
Yeah, because this is 26 coming
Yep.
up. Jeez,
No, this is
26 coming up. Like It'll be January.
2026. I see. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole year thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
2026.
Yes, 2026 coming up, and yes, it will be 29 years, January the 11th. Yes,
Crazy.
it will.
That's crazy. Well, maybe next time we come on, we can think of some of our favorite funnies of, I don't know, marriage or something. We'll talk about that off camera because we already know you on camera and me asking you things like that. That's not planned for, so we'll plan for that.
Oh no, it's much better if it's a surprise.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because the look on your face is so worth
No, that's not
the
what I'm
camera.
talking about.
Oh,
Yeah, you like the surprise factor.
I do.
Unless it's you being surprised.
Yeah.
See how
I
that
guess.
works.
I don't know.
Yeah. You're not very joy-filled on that end.
Well, yeah, I guess that's it. I guess it's kind of, I don't know, that for me, coming here, whatever else, was just kind of part of life, the stress. I'm sure it was much more stressful for you, the kids, whatever else. But to me, it was just kind of this is the way it is, whatever. And, yeah, so I don't have a whole lot of, like early on in the other stuff, like dealing with your family, some of the dynamics that we went through in that, yeah, I'm very passionate about that. I'm sure that showed. But coming here was like, I don't know, to me it was so lifting. There were things that were stressful during it, but, I don't know, it's weird. I just didn't feel like it was the things that were happening within coming here were as eventful, if you will.
Yeah, for sure.
And maybe that's because I am so callous now to earlier times that it just didn't.
No, I don't think it's.
Matter.
I don't think it's that. I think too. For us, it was important for us to move away from family on both sides.
Yeah, 100%.
It was healthy for us to actually
Get
just
a little further away.
be the four of us
Yes.
and build that dynamic.
I think so.
Partly because I really struggled with boundaries, and then because of that struggle, it just catapulted into a whole whirlwind of just messy
Yeah.
with all of our family members.
Yeah.
And it wasn't an intentional thing. It was just who I was at the time and how I dealt with stuff. And so moving out here, I mean, we joked about it the first year or two we were here. We always said we felt like we were on vacation.
Yeah.
Like, because we loved it here so much and still do. I mean, still love it here.
Absolutely. I think it was a lot of fun though too, because for several years we were exploring different things around here. Mm-hmm. Whether it was the whole barbecue scene of going to Lockhart for a little bit, whatever else, going to different places downtown. Obviously, we're big foodie people, so
Yeah.
we really prided ourselves on going to new restaurants in downtown Austin and the surrounding areas, but that were local owned and no chains, and so found a lot of cool things, shared it with the kids. The kids loved it too, from
Oh, yeah.
from going down to the trailer down on Congress for Torchy's or something, and then going to Gordo's to get a donut dessert. Yeah, that was amazing,
Yeah.
But I think we still do a little bit different now, but we don't do that as much, going down there as much anymore.
No, we don't.
There's a few spots that I think we like to go or share with people that visit with us when they come in town.
For sure. For
like
sure.
Iconic spots for us are still like Home Slice. What is the Mexican restaurant, Guerreros? Yeah, that, or going to the equipment room, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's definitely that. And then too, we both like to be in the kitchen. And so we do a ton and try to find authentic foods that we can cook, because we
and
we love
that's kind of slowed
food.
us down from going down there quite a bit too, because that
Yeah.
was something we used to do. So now we just kind of search different, whether it's YouTube or whatever else, and find just different authentic ways to make these dishes, or even getting to meet some of the people locally here
Yeah.
that, for whatever reason, have shared recipes with us too, like the birria tacos and queso tacos and whatever. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe landed that, but that's, yeah.
I know, being able to get recipes like that is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
For sure. And when we can't, then we just dig until we do. Like, for instance, it's been several years now in a row that we've done this, but learning how to make homemade tamales.
Yeah.
And nobody that we knew could we ever get a recipe out of. And so it was just digging and digging and digging and finally finding, a good maza recipe, a good meat recipe, and then, whatever. So we've learned how to make them pretty decent, I might say.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, that's kind of life in general when it comes to the food scene. There's still tons of good places to eat here. It's just we don't do it as often.
Yeah, we just don't anymore.
Yeah. But we cook a lot.
Yeah, we do that. And I think, it's like our shift in our life, too, because I think we enjoy having other couples over here to share that with, or even do that with to a degree, and doing life in a different way
Yeah.
when it comes to that.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely my vibe.
for sure.
I
Yeah.
like that for sure. Yeah.
And I see as we continue on to do, probably more of that than the restaurant thing, whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. People do give us, we get a lot of people that'll ask us, when are you going to open your food truck or whatever? And I'm just like,
I don't know that I have the energy for that one.
that would have to be, it would have to be like, almost like a side hustle, because I don't know how you side hustle a food truck, but I just know that restaurant industry, you're not going to make a living off of that unless you wind up becoming a chain, of which then you're going to sell it off anyway. And what's the point? That's the whole purpose of having it, is to keep your hands in there and doing the cooking and, loving on your staff, building a great team, serving good food to great people, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I don't, I think for me in that, I would lose the passion of doing it, the joy that I get out of doing it at that time and creating something new or making something new. Wouldn't be the same for me.
I mean, for me, I would love it, because I know, like, once upon a time we talked about dreams of what we would love to do. I mean, I think I would enjoy it. I don't think I would get burned out on that part. My thing would be, I don't know that I would ever want to scale it. You know what I mean? And that, from a profitability standpoint, doesn't even make logical sense. Like, okay, well then, great, but...
I don't know. I'm sure there are, like, food trucks and stuff like that you may not need to. Maybe you just you do scale it maybe to open up a separate food truck, but you don't necessarily have to do a brick and mortar.
Yeah. I don't know. Who knows? I'm only 51. Why not start some other new things up here in the midst of all? You never know. We're full of all kinds of surprises in this house. We started a brand new company, quit our corporate jobs, and just jumped in the deep end. And we've survived a whole first year.
Yep.
Hoo-hoo-hoo. It's exciting.
Yes, it is.
I can officially say that by the time this airs, it'll go out only a few days before the end of the year.
Yep.
So it's official.
Yes, it is. We have made it.
I know.
1 year.
I know.
Who knows how next week will be?
No, that's not true. We got a few weeks under our belt. We're good. So we'll kick off the new year with some good stuff. So that's a good thing.
Absolutely.
Well, babe, I guess we'll wrap it up for now, and maybe I'll have you come one more time. We can talk, a few things before I turn you loose for good, where you can just go do your thing and not have to worry about coming and recording with me.
Gotcha. Can I use this as therapy sessions? Sometimes just come in here and lay down and...
Yeah, when you just lay right there on the floor and complain. Who knows? I'm only 51. Why not start some other new things up here in the midst of all? You never know. We're full of all kinds of surprises in this house. We started a brand new company, quit our corporate jobs, and just jumped in the deep end. And we've survived a whole first year.
Yep.
Hoo-hoo-hoo. It's exciting.
Yes, it is.
What are you going to complain about? You're married to me.
I
How are you
know.
complaining?
Well, it won't be about us, babe.
Oh,
Be about others.
that's good. Nice. No, we're not going to complain about others on the podcast. That's not a good choice. I don't need to get, sued.
Oh, come on.
Be my luck.
Spice of life.
Yeah, no. I've had enough people serve me papers over the course of my life. I'm good with no more.
Okey-doke.
All right. Well, for now, we are going to leave you all, but just want to say thank you to everyone for joining us today. If you haven't already, definitely give us a like and a follow, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. And remember, there's always a seat for you here at the Edwards table.